Well, I think 21st century consumer, first of all, is much more knowledgeable than consumers have ever been before. They've got so much information at their fingertips now. They've got so much choice. They can browse virtually, a global inventory. So they are very different, very much more sophisticated than consumers were before. It's very, very important. We need to remember that consumers now are empowered by this information, and therefore they are able a little bit more to protect themselves more than consumers in the past were. So I think we need to be flexible with the modern consumer. We need to make sure that they are protected from the many dangers that are out there, particularly in e-commerce, in terms of safety standards. But we also need to understand that they're much more able to make up their own choice. Clearly, safety is probably the most important thing, because you can buy pretty much anything now. And that's not just something that you're going to do in online regulation. We need to also make sure that the trading standards and the quality standards that we apply are strongly enforced throughout the whole of Europe. That's the most important thing, because particularly in fake products, if you like, products that are portrayed as something online, you buy them, they're very different and they're very dangerous these days. We need a joined up thinking in how we're going to deal with that. Well, the biggest challenge, I think, is we have this new ecosystem that has grown up over 20 years that we're still struggling to have a regulatory framework to deal with. The danger is, of course, we try and get a regulatory framework for the internet as it exists today, and we're going to be regulating companies that don't even exist today, and in areas that we can't even imagine. I mean, to give you an example, when we get to the stage where you can be 3D printing all your goods at home, potentially, which could come in the next 10, 20 years, suddenly all this product safety work that we've got is going to be completely changed, because you've got to look at software then rather than the goods themselves. So I think we've got to be very careful how we regulate. We've got to make sure we've got a framework which is flexible, which allows us to adapt quickly to the changing technology that's coming over the next few years. For me, that's the most important thing.